Assalamu alaikum. Today we're making rice with meat. Here are the ingredients you'll need. 1½ cups of suqaar meat. ½ a small onion sliced thinly long ways. 2 medium tomatoes that have been chopped. 2 cups of rice. 1 chicken cube. ½ teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of cumin powder. 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder, which is optional. A tablespoon of cilantro that needs to be crushed. 1 clove of garlic that needs to be crushed. 4 cups of water. 1/2 cup of tomato sauce. 1/2 cup of oil. Start by boiling the meat. You want to boil it for about 30 to 45 minutes. You want to make sure it's nice and tender and soft. Now that the meat has finished boiling, drain the water off of it. Turn your stove on medium-high. Add the oil and the onions. And you want to fry it until the meat turns brown and the onions are tender. It's been about 3 minutes and the meat has browned up and the onions are tender. So I'm going to add in the tomatoes. Stir it well. I'm going to cover it and let it cook until the tomatoes are reduced down. I'm going to stir it a few times just to make sure that it doesn't stick. This is also a good time to preheat your oven on 275 degrees and bring your 4 cups of water to a boil. 3 minutes has passed and I'm going to check on the tomatoes. You want to kind of press down on the tomatoes and kind of break them up a little. I'm going to let them cook for another 2 minutes or so. 2 more minutes have passed, so I'm going to check on the tomatoes again. Do the same thing, try to break the tomatoes up with your spoon. Now that all the tomatoes have broken down, we can add the rest of our spices. The chicken cube, salt, cumin powder, the garlic and cilantro that has been crushed, and if you're going to use it, the chili powder. Stir it up. Now add the 2 cups of rice. And I'm turning the stove up on high now. Stir the rice in well, make sure it gets coated. Now add the tomato sauce. You want to make sure if there's any small pieces of rice that are stuck on the sides of the pan that you get those down in the pan. Now you can add your water. Make sure that it's already come to a nice full boil before adding it in. Stir it up, get all the rice off the sides of the pan. And let it boil for about 7 minutes. 7 minutes has passed, so I'm going to stir the rice. A lot of the liquid has gone out. Most of the liquid is gone. There is still some liquid, but it's not covering all of the rice. So now I'm going to put the lid back on it, turn the stove off, and put it in the oven that's already been preheated at 275 degrees and let it cook for 10 minutes in the oven. The rice has cooked in the oven for 10 minutes, so now you can just take the lid off and stir it. I like to leave it set for about 5 or 10 minutes before I serve it, just to let it settle down, and it'll be ready to serve. The rice is ready to be served.